Hello, I'm coming at you live from Cademan's room tonight, and I couldn't probably be getting you these videos any later other than giving them to you in the morning. But anyway, as I read through the lesson for more, I did want to go ahead and make a few comments on what this lesson is about, and also some little additions I thought would be good to bring out in the lesson. It's a really well written lesson. They've done a really good job going through this one, and I think it's going to be great that we have this one on Thanksgiving weekend because I was looking through Facebook, and I'm not sure who it was. I think maybe it was Arthur Walter that posted something where it said only in America can people run over each other um, to get uh, to get gifts for Christmas the day after they just got done giving thanks for all the things that they already had. And so, we like to think that as a people, we're pretty thankful for what we have, but in reality, our country as a whole, and probably even ourselves more than we know, are envious of what others have. And so, as we look through the lesson, like I said, there's just a few things that I want to bring out here. You can look at the dictionary definition again for envy, and it's important for them to see what those definitions are so that they get the proper understanding of what we're talking about. But then, as we look down in the lesson, it says there's a noun form of the word envy, which is jealousy, and so help them to understand that is going to be the same thing. That they're not different things, but they're one and the same. And so the first thing I wanted to bring out was in this First Corinthians 3 passage. Let me read that for you. It says, "But I, brothers, could not address you as spiritual people, but as people of the flesh, as infants in Christ. I fed you with milk, not solid food, for you were not ready for it. And even now you are not yet ready, for you are still of the flesh. For while there is jealousy and strife among you, are you not of the flesh, and behaving only in a human way? For when one says, I follow Paul, and another, I follow Apollos, are you not being merely human?" You can look at the definition there of jealousy now, but the thing that I wanted to bring out in those scriptures in particular is the fact that whenever you exhibit a spirit of envy or jealousy, what you're doing is you're showing your spiritual immaturity. Um, that's huge. If anybody has trouble with jealousy and envy of what others have, or of their position, or whatever, it's showing that there needs to be some real spiritual growth happen in their life. Paul says that he describes them as infants in Christ, people that are always having to be spoon fed, never take an initiative on their own to dig in the Word and get after it. So, that's something that these teenagers really need to understand, is that they've got to take responsibility for their own spiritual walk, because otherwise they're going to grow up and be adults and be the same people that Paul describes here as of the flesh and spiritual infants. So that's the first thing I wanted to bring out this week. All right, as we continue through the lesson, we're going to go through the fruit of the Spirit and also James 3:13 through 18. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a list of the characteristics of somebody who gratifies the desires of the flesh, and then also the person that will walk by the Spirit. I'm sorry. Actually, what you're going to be doing is making a list of envy and one of kindness, which is the opposite of envy. But as you go through this whole thing, the important thing to remember is the fact that that you don't that love that we're talking about is coming from God, and it's poured into our hearts by the Spirit, which we went over. I went over the last two videos, but it's important to note here again because what we're seeing here is a person that has the Spirit of God or a true believer, or you're seeing somebody who does not have the Spirit of God and is not a true believer, and in fact is ruled by their flesh, is ruled by demonic forces, and as James 3 there says, is unspiritual and earthly. So it's not just a little thing to have envy and jealousy against other people. Like, it's categorized with some major other sins, drunkenness, orgies, dissensions, rivalries, fits of anger. Like, all of those things are characteristics of a non-believer, somebody that's ruled by the flesh. And so, they need to understand that that love does not envy, because it is the exact opposite. True love from God replaces envy and is satisfied in the person of Jesus Christ for this world. And so, as we're looking at it, unfortunately, I can't show you the video because my computer's messing up and will not let me download it here. But just go to YouTube and type in "more Coke," and it should show you the very first one that pops up. I will have videos for you in the morning on DVD, so you don't have to worry about downloading it and bringing it to class with you. I'll for sure have DVDs there for you. But it's powerful. The message in that video, if you haven't watched it yet, is something that uses something very trivial, but makes a real point. But it's real pointed at the way it does it, I guess is what I should say. Makes more sense. But anyway, it's a powerful video, so have them watch it and then go through the took portion. Okay, just a few final words about this week's lesson. Is the main point of the whole thing that we really want to get across is the fact that which they put in the took portion, which I really like, is the fact that just simply saying that we have to be kind or we have to be loving to people is not the answer to jealousy. Because all that does is put another requirement on somebody of something that they can't do on their own. Like, for you to say, I'm not going to be jealous. Like, there is a point in which you say, I'm not going to be jealous, but it's because you're looking to something else. It's not because within yourself you have the capability to change anything. What you really want them to understand is that the remedy for jealousy is actually Jesus. And the more they get to know who He is and know that He is the provider and sustainer and all of that stuff, then He begins to change their heart, and He's the one that takes away these things that shouldn't be there and makes them more mature in Him, rather than us trying to, and under our own power, simply change ourselves, which is not possible. And so the remedy is to be in the Word, to let Christ change you, to have times of prayer where you beg God to change the things that you see in yourself that are not right. And that's the way the lesson's going to end today, is having a time of prayer so that the students can begin that process of asking God, or sometimes I like to just call it begging God, to change them on the inside, because they have to understand, and it has to be almost a begging, because they have to understand that they're not capable of it on their own. And without His help, they're not going to be able to do it. And so I know this is a really quick video this week, but since I didn't get to it till Saturday evening, that probably explains that. But again, I think this is going to be a really good, powerful lesson. That video, take time to do those discussion questions after the video, because I think those are going to help drive home the point that we're trying to get at. That video is so good that it just makes the point right at the end that Jesus is really the answer to those jealous and envious thoughts that we have. And so, anyway, probably won't be doing any more of these live from Caedmon's room. Next week, your video will probably be live from Northwest Arkansas because I'm going to be there all week, and hopefully I'll have this done before Saturday. So anyway, I hope you all have a blessed time in Sunday school in the morning, and we'll see you then.